सुखमुखातमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः प्रायेणाल्पायुषः सभ्ये कलौ अस्मिन् युगे जनाः मन्दासु मन्दमतयो मन्दभाग्या हि उपाधृताः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. थैंक यू माताजी. दंडवत
Mataji,
प्रणाम.
after reciting, you should also say Hare Krishna Mahamantra once.
ओके माताजी. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. थैंक यू
Very
माताजी.
well recited, Mataji. Very nicely recited. Very melodious voice. Thank you so
थैंक यू
much.
माताजी.
So, welcome all for today's session. Let us start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरयेत्. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So, Hare Krishna, we are on the 9th chapter of the first canto. So, we are going to the text where we see how Bhishma Dev is about to leave his body and what all he does, how the Pandavas approach, what happens from the beginning of the chapter is that, sorry, this is 37 we have to go through. Okay. So we saw at the beginning of the chapter what happens after the battle is over, the war is over, the Pandavas have won, Yudhishthira Maharaj is coronated as the king. Then he goes to meet Bhishma Dev. He feels that everything what has happened, such a big war took place, so many lives were gone, this all has happened because of me. That is his, he's feeling very sad about that. And so Krishna says, okay, he tries to pacify him first and then says, let us go to Bhishma Dev, let us have his darshan also and he will also guide you. So, but he tells Yudhishthira Maharaj that you should go in the form of a king, because Bhishma Dev would love to see his grandchild such a he loved all the Pandavas so much, so he will be very happy to see you in the dress of the king. So they all go with the big procession. They meet Bhishma Dev. Then we saw how Bhishma Dev guides the Pandavas, the Yudhishthira Maharaj. He gives them the guidance about how to rule the kingdom. What are the duties of a king towards his subjects, towards brahmanas, towards the ladies, towards all sorts of people. And he guides very nicely to Yudhishthira Maharaj. And then that we see that now the sun is shifting to Uttarayana. Yeah, he's shifting to in such a way that all the yogis, those who have the mystic powers, or those who can leave the body at their own will, just like Bhishma Dev, they are always waiting for such auspicious, all the stars, and the sun is also moving, and that is the time when he wants to leave his body. So that time has now come. So immediately, as soon as he realizes now that the time has come now, he immediately takes out his entire thoughts away from all the worldly matters. Now, no more Hastinapur, no more Yudhishthir Maharaj, no more how they are going to rule, no more thinking of his pain because of the arrows which are pierced. Nothing he is thinking. What he is completely now gets absorbed into Krishna. So he looks at Krishna and he sees, now Krishna also knows his mindset, right? He knows that this is my one of the best devotees. So Krishna also shows him the four-handed form. That is the form which was worshipped actually by Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev was worshipping the Vasudev form of Krishna. So he shows him the four-handed form. And looking at that, the magnanimity of Sri Krishna, Bhishma Dev gets absorbed into devotional ecstasy. And then he says the prayers. So what all does he pray? So initially we saw that he says first how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how he is the creator of everything, how he is the, he is all powerful, he is self-sufficient, but still he takes his avatar, he takes his birth in this material world just to pacify his devotees, just for the sake of his devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam. Okay, and that's thing. So he remembers that. And after every glorification of Krishna, he says, may my mind be absorbed in thinking about this, the lotus feet of the Lord. May my mind be absorbed in taking the darshan of the lotus eyes of the Lord. And in this way, he starts glorifying Krishna and he's completely meditating on Krishna. Then he says, calls Krishna as, he also thinks about the transcendental body of Krishna. How the bluish color, he compares the bluish color of Krishna with what? Can somebody tell? The bluish Tamala tree. Yes, yes. So he compares the color of Krishna resembling just like the Tamala tree. And then he also he remembers about how Krishna appeared in the battlefield when all his hairs were matted with the ashes, the dust and all which was in there because of the different horses and the people running here and there. So how his entire body was full of dust, how the sweat was dripping from his forehead. So many minute things, everything. That means even while performing his occupational duty of fighting, he was still absorbed during the war. That time also, still at that time, doing his job of fighting Krishna in every manner. He was still engrossed in the thoughts of Krishna. He was, at that time also, he was performing bhakti towards Krishna. So is it not a very big thing for us to, understand that while doing our occupational duty, do we even remember Krishna? If I am in my office, or if I am cooking, or if I am doing some work, at that time is Krishna there in my mind? Yeah, we have to, reconnect that. Not only while doing japa, or not only while doing our deity worship, that is the case that we should worship Krishna, but we should always, the thoughts of Krishna should always be there in our mind, just like Bhishma Dev was having. And in this way, now he has come to that place So today what we are going to take is very, 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 very important. The realizations of Bhishma Dev as well as the purports of Srila Prabhupada. Beautiful purports for today's session. So we are going to read the entire purport very nicely, and we are going to understand the different things what Prabhupada is also trying to tell us through the pastime of Bhishma Dev. Okay, so let us read. Please raise your hands. Yes, Archana Mataji. Archana Mataji, you just now read this shlokas, no? So maybe I'll give you a chance little later. Is it okay, Mataji?
No, Mataji, that was me. That was Archana Shriradha who read.
Okay,
Now
okay.
it is Archana
Fine,
Sunil
fine.
Mataji. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
Mataji, no problem. Archana Mataji, you can read. Archana Sunil Kumar Mataji, you can read the shloka
Hare
and
Krishna.
translation. And Shaljaja Mataji, you can read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat.
Swanigamam apahaya mat pratiknyam pradamadikartumavapludoradhasta dhrudaradhacharanobhyayachaladur haririvahandu vipam dadhotariya.
Nice, Mataji. Very different tune and very nice tune. Yes. Please read the
Hare Krishna.
translation.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Fulfilling my vow and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot its way and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He even dropped his outer garment on the way. Hare Krishna.
Actually, I forgot to, we should read the previous translation also, the previous shloka, so that there is a connection built. Mataji, you can please read the translation of the previous shloka. I'll just display it on the screen once. Text 36. Yes, it starts actually from here.
Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. When Arjuna was seemingly polluted by ignorance, upon observing the soldiers and commanders before him on the battlefield, the Lord eradicated his ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge. May his lotus feet always remain the object of my attraction.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So last time we have completed, yesterday we have completed till here. So where Krishna, how he instructs Arjuna by giving all the transcendental knowledge. We have seen how Bhagavad Gita was narrated to Arjuna before the war began. And during the war, certain things happened because of which Krishna pulls up a weapon. So we know that story or the pastime of Krishna where he has decided that he will never lift a weapon. He will not fight. He will not, he's not going to take any weapon in his hand and do the fighting. But now he is doing something which he had promised that he will not do it. So that means he is breaking his own promise. And why he is doing that? That we are going to see today. So what does Bhishma Dev say? That to fulfill my vow, whatever vow I had taken, I had taken a specific vow, and because I am a devotee, he knows that Krishna knows that I am his devotee. So to fulfill my vow, he is sacrificing his own vow. He is sacrificing his own promise. So such a great person who is not even thinking of, what was now Krishna was also the king. And Krishna, any king would like to maintain his character even as a king, right? What character a person would like to maintain? That he is truthful, that he is honest, that whatever promise he has done, he is always following that. That is the reputation some person wants to maintain in his life. But Krishna, as a supreme personality of Godhead, he is not just a king, he is the supreme personality of Godhead, but he is not at all concerned about his reputation. He is not at all concerned about whether people are calling him honest or dishonest or anything. What he is concerned about, more than me, my devotees' promise or my devotees' vow should be fulfilled. For that, even I have to go and do the things which I have do the things which I have promised not to do. I will do that also. To that extent, Krishna will go. Okay, so That is how that is the form of Krishna which Bhishma Devi is remembering. So what did Krishna do? He just got down from the chariot of Arjuna. Why did he get down? That is there in the purport also, and we are going to talk about it also. And he took up his wheel, the wheel of the chariot, and ran towards Bhishma Dev as if he's going to kill Bhishma Dev with the big wooden wheel of the chariot. And the comparison is given here, that's like a lion goes to kill an elephant. So when a lion wants to, go for a hunting, so he can even kill the elephant, and he will with a full force, because elephant is such a big, hefty animal that the lion also attacks the elephant with full force. Right? So in the same way, Krishna ran towards Bhishma Dev with complete force to kill Bhishma Dev. And in that way, even while running, he dropped his outer garment, Uttariya. Whatever was there, it fell. And Krishna was not worried about it. He just ran towards Bhishma Dev to kill him. Why did it happen? And Bhishma Dev is remembering that beautiful form of Krishna running in anger towards Bhishma Dev. So even in the angry mood, Krishna is very beautiful. Yeah. So let us read the purport. Mataji, please read. I will require actually 2 people to read it because it's a big purport. We'll stop in between and somebody else can also read.
Yes, Mataji, may I?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. The battle of Kurukshetra was fought on military principles, but at the same time in a supporting spirit, like a friend's fight with another friend. Duryodhana criticized Bhismadev, alleging that he was reluctant to kill Arjun because of paternal affections. A Kshatriya cannot tolerate insult on the principles of fighting. Bhismadev therefore promised that the next day he would kill all 5 Pandavas with special weapons made for the purpose. Duryodhan was satisfied, and he kept the arrows with him to be delivered the next day during the fight. But by tricks, Arjun took the arrows from Duryodhana, and Bhishma Dev could understand that he was the trick of this was the trick of the Lord Krishna. So he took a vow that the next day Krishna would have to take up weapons himself. Otherwise, his friend Arjuna would die. In the next day's fighting, Bhishma Dev fought so violently that both Arjun and Krishna were in trouble. Arjun was almost defeated. The situation was so tense. Situation was so tense that he was about to be killed by Bhishma Dev. The very next moment, at that time.
Mataji, we'll wait here.
Okay.
Because I will give a chance to somebody else also to read. Thank you, Mataji. So we are in the middle of the story actually. Prabhupada is explaining us the story. What is the background of Bhishma Dev saying this? Almost all of us know this story of this part of Mahabharata, where Duryodhana is always insulting Bhishma Dev, saying that he is partial towards the Pandavas. So in the middle of the battlefield also, he feels somehow, because his view is biased, Duryodhana's view is biased. So he feels that Bhishma Dev is not giving his full strength. He is not fighting with his full magnanimity, with his full force. So he goes and tells Bhishma Dev that, what are you doing this? Why are you doing like this? Do you want to protect the Pandavas? Are you from my side or from Pandavas' side? So when he says something like this, Bhishma Dev feels insulted. And Bhishma Dev then takes a vow that, okay, you feel like this, that I'm from their side. It is not like that. To prove this, he takes out 5 arrows from his this thing, and he takes a vow that with these 5 arrows tomorrow I will kill all the 5 Pandavas. That is my promise. And by this, Duryodhana becomes very happy. He says, wow, this is what I wanted. And then when he says this, but he is still doubtful. He says, if these arrows are kept with Bhishma Dev, either Bhishma Dev will lose them, or by some or the other way, Arjuna or Krishna will take those arrows from Bhishma Dev. So to have that full faith in that he will kill the Pandavas next day, Duryodhana keeps the arrows with himself at night. Now what happens? Krishna reminds Arjuna of some favor he had done to Duryodhana. What was that favor? That is a very beautiful story. How ego of a person can get crushed. So when the Pandavas were in the 12-year exile in the jungle, they were sent to the jungle. So they are happy staying there, in whatever small things there. They had built their own kutir and they were happily staying there. But Duryodhana, because now he was an acting king, a king in action, because his father was blind, so he was taking care of the entire kingdom. So literally he was the king of the kingdom. So he wanted to brag about it. He wanted to show his opulence to the Pandavas. So he knew where they are staying. So he takes a procession with all his near and dear friends and some of the soldiers and all that. And they proceed towards the forest to show that how wealthy I am, what is my power, nobody can defeat me, I am the most powerful person of the universe. That is what Duryodhana wanted to tell them, show it to them in fact. And therefore he goes to the jungle. And what happens is they are passing through a part where there is the lake of what are they called? Gandharvas. The lake of Gandharvas, where they take a bath and they enjoy in that lake. And at that specific time when they are taking the bath and enjoying in the lake, it was a rule, like untold rule, that nobody should go in that area. Otherwise they get offended. So Duryodhana unknowingly he passes through that area when the Gandharvas are enjoying themselves in the lake. And the Gandharvas become offended and there is a fight between Duryodhana and the Gandharvas. And sorry. And the Duryodhana gets defeated. He gets caught. He gets captured by the Gandharvas. And they just arrest him and keep him aside. And when the Pandavas come to know about this, Yudhishthir Maharaj wants Arjuna and Bhim to go and protect, to release Duryodhana from the clutches of the Gandharvas. And Bhim says, I will not go. He's always against Duryodhana. So he says, it is not possible that I will save Duryodhana. But then Arjuna says, okay, whatever you say, that is your wish is my command. And Arjuna goes, he fights with the Gandharvas. He single-handedly defeats the Gandharvas and releases Duryodhana. Now, because Arjuna has released Duryodhana, it becomes an obligation for Duryodhana to thank him. Though it was not there in his mind, but he has to thank Arjuna. And therefore he says, okay, I am very thankful to you for whatever help you have done to me. Please ask me anything, I will do it for you. And that time Arjuna says, I don't want anything right now. I am very happy. I am very contented. I don't need anything. But I will remember this. And if I require some help someday, I will ask you at that time. And Duryodhana agrees for that and then he leaves. So now this promise, Krishna is reminding to Arjuna that there is a favor which you had done to Duryodhana and you can ask it back. So now you go to Duryodhana and bring back the arrows. So Arjuna goes, he reminds Duryodhana of that promise and he says, give me the arrows. And now Duryodhana has to give the arrows back to Arjuna. That is how the arrows come back to Arjuna. So now when Bhishma Dev comes to know about this, that this incident has happened, so he gets more, angry, and he says, I don't need those 5 arrows. Anyhow, I can kill the Pandavas. So because Arjuna has done this act to Duryodhana today, what I will do is tomorrow either I will kill Arjuna or I will make Krishna lift a weapon and fight with me. Because he is always protecting Arjuna from all sorts of attacks. So tomorrow I will make, somehow or the other, I will make Krishna to pick up a weapon and fight with me, or else I will kill Arjuna. So the next day now Krishna comes to know this vow That is the point where the fierce battle takes place between Arjuna and Bhishma Dev, so much so that the entire the chariot of Arjuna is broken. He is wounded very badly, and now it was sure if everybody was like thinking that the next arrow which pierces Arjuna, Arjuna is going to die. At that time, now see, three things happened in this incident. First thing, by the action of Krishna. Krishna gets down. He's very angry on Bhishmadev. He lifts the wheel of the chariot and runs towards Bhishmadev. That is what he is remembering. Bhishmadev is remembering. Why this action has three different angles to look at. First thing, he is breaking his own promise. Krishna has promised that he will not pick up a weapon. He will not fight. But now he is picking up a weapon. Second thing, why does he pick up a weapon? So because he wants to save Arjuna. Who is Arjuna? Arjuna is the best devotee and a friend of Krishna. He's a very pure devotee. He's the best person, most lovable person of Krishna. He is the person who Krishna loves very much. So he wants to protect Arjuna. That is why he lifts the weapon. And the third thing is that he has more value to Bhishma Dev's vow than his own vow. He knows, Krishna knows. We also know that why is the name given to Bhishma? The name Bhishma was given to name Bhishma because he had done 3 Bhishma Pratigya. Is it not? Anybody remembers the 3 Pratigyas? First is he will not marry, never marry.
Never marry. Yes.
Then he will not become the king. He will not sit on the throne. And he will always protect the throne.
Support the.
And he had followed that promise. He had never given up that vow. He had never, somehow or the other, okay, chalta hai kind of mentality. He never had. He was very strict on his vow. That is why the name was given as Bhishma, the one who is very strictly following his vows. So now Bhishma is also the devotee of Krishna, and Krishna doesn't want his devotee's vow to get unfulfilled or broken. So that is why he is more concerned about his devotee's vow, and so he lifts the weapon and marches towards Bhishma Dev. Now, one thing to be understood over here is that it was not necessary for Krishna to pick up something, run towards Bhishma Dev and kill him. Right? Krishna was the Supreme Personality of God. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. Just by clapping a finger, flipping a finger, he can directly, Bhishma Dev can become dead. But then this entire action he's performing. Why? Because Bhishma Dev desired to see Krishna in that form. Angry form he had never seen Krishna angry. He had heard about how he has killed so many asuras. He had heard about how he had heard about the valor of Krishna. But he had never seen that, the spirit of a Kshatriya. He had not seen it with his own eyes. He wanted to, see Krishna in that very angry mood, a revenging mood. And that was his desire. And to fulfill that desire, Krishna does all this particular action. That is the history behind that particular thing. Okay, let us go ahead. So we had read. Sorry. Yeah. So he knew now that both Arjuna and Krishna were in trouble. Where did we stop?
That time, Lord Krishna what?
Yeah. Now we have to read, right?
At the time.
Correct. So he knew that Arjuna was almost defeated. The situation was so tense that he was about to be killed by Bhishma Dev at that very next moment. Yes. Now who is reading? Next person?
May Mataji.
Okay, ma'am.
I can see the hands raised. In that sequence only I am calling out, okay?
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. At the time, Lord Krishna wanted to please his devotee Bhishma by keeping Bhishma's promise, which was more important than his own. Seemingly, he broke his own promise. He promised before the beginning of the battle of Kurukshetra that he would remain without weapons and would not use the strength for either of the parties. But to protect Arjuna, he got down from the chariot, took up the wheel of the chariot, and hurriedly rushed at Bhishma Deva in an angry mood, as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He dropped his covering cloth on the way, and out of great anger, he did not know what he had dropped it. Bhishma Deva at once gave up his weapons and stood to be killed by Krishna, his beloved lord. The fighting of the day was thus ended at the very moment, and Arjuna was saved. Of course, there was no possibility of Arjuna's death because the Lord himself was on the chariot. But because Bhishma Deva wanted to see Lord Krishna take up some weapon to save his friend, the Lord created the situation, making Arjuna's death appear imminent. He stood before Bhishma Deva to show him that his promise was fulfilled and that he had taken up the wheel. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Yeah. So this shows how concerned Krishna is always towards his devotees. He can do anything for his devotees. He can go off the track, out of the way to save his devotees. Can you remember some of the incidences? Somebody, please raise your hands and give, because everybody talks in the same time and then we are not able to understand. Are you getting my question? And my question is
Yes,
that what are those some of the situations?
Prahlad,
Who is this? Sindhu
Prahlad
Mataji, you are
Maharaj.
telling?
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad
He
Maharaj,
came
for
after this.
him,
Dhruva
he even
Maharaj.
took the... No, please, one at a time. Only one person, one example. Okay? Yes, Sindhu Mataji, you are telling about Prahlad Maharaj. So how he even took the form of Narsimhadev to save his devotee. Yes. Again, who is there? Sudha Mataji?
Draupadi.
Draupadi.
Dhruva
How many
Maharaj.
times?
Dhruva
How
Maharaj.
many times?
I think 2 times.
2 times. First is, or one
First
of them
is
is
uh,
Hmm.
Duryodhan. Yes, Duryodhan. No, Dusasan.
Dushyasana. Vastraharan.
Vastrahara.
What was Krishna doing at that time? He was having his lunch. He was sitting with Rukmini Devi and he was having his lunch. And he suddenly gets up and runs from there. And in one moment, he is in Hastinapur. And he saves Draupadi. And the second time,
Second time.
the story of, yes, anybody else? How he saves
Durvasa.
Varshna.
Then
No. How he saves Draupadi. That is Akshay Patra.
Yes.
Huh? The rice, the last one, this of
rice.
grain of rice he eats. Yes. One more example. Somebody.
Mataji, may I say?
Yes.
May I say, Mataji? Mataji, to save Uttara's child, Parishit Maharaj in the
Parikshit.
womb.
Very nice
Yeah.
example. Yes, ma'am.
Correct.
Correct. One more. Somebody said Gajendra.
Gajendra Moksha, Mataji.
Yeah.
Gajendra Moksha.
Correct. The Lord came. No, I'm saying off the track is going. Means he does something different. Like for saving Parikshit Maharaj, he enters the womb. That is also there. Gajendra Moksha Leela is there. Ambarish Maharaj's Leela is there. For Ambarish Maharaj, he sends the Sudarshan Chakra. Yes. So there are so many. In fact, every time, even while killing the Asuras, he has always killed the Asuras to protect somebody, some of his devotees. Okay. So he is always going, he is not considering himself as, means he is not concerned what laws he has to break, right? As a small child, he just kicked that bullock cart. It got shattered and in front of everybody, can you imagine a very small child just kicking the bullock cart and it's getting broken into pieces? Is it not? So he did not think, oh, I am just a child of few days and I should not perform such action. No. If he has to perform, he will go off the track and do it. Karna's death. Yes, that also. Karna's death.
Hare Krishna Mataji lifting up Govardhana hill.
Lifting Govardhana hill to save all the Brajvasis, to save everybody, all the Gopas and Gopis. He lifted the Govardhana hill. Yeah? So many incidences. Okay. So that means...
Take the Gopala's, I mean...
Brahma Vimohan Leela.
Brahma. Right.
Yes. So he saves all the Gopas.
Yeah.
He builds Brahmaji, and hides Gopas and takes form of every Gopa. And stays with their parent for a complete year. Is it not? So if we start discussing these Leelas, our entire class will be for the Leelas of Krishna's mercy. Okay. So the point here is that for saving the devotee or for fulfilling the devotee's wish, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can go to any extent and perform any sort of action. That is the point to be noted here. Okay. So, what is the practical aspect of this thing for us? So, when we are in trouble, we should have complete faith that Krishna is there for me. Sometimes we feel, oh, from so many days, this problem is not going. Yeah, or why I am put in such and such trouble. So we should always know that Krishna knows it, that you are going through this trouble, you're going through such situation. Maybe you are supposed to go through a very difficult situation than that particular situation, but still Krishna has given you minimum pain and he's there with you, he's following you, he's knowing the situation, and he's actually taking you without any pain through that particular situation, or going with the minimum pain, he's taking you through that situation. So we should always have that complete faith on Krishna in our bad times also. Okay. Yes, Sindhu Mataji, you have raised the hand for reading shloka. So please read the shloka and the translation. Sudha Mataji, you can read half part of the purport.
Sure, Mataji.
This
Am I
purport
audible?
is also very beautiful. Please pay attention very nicely to the purport also. Yes, Mataji, please read. Sindhu Mataji.
Pranams, Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sita Vishatahato Vishinadamsha Shataja Paripluta Atataino Me Prashabam Abhishasharamadvadhatam Sabhavatu Me Bhagavan Gatir Mukunda.
Hari Bol.
Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. May He, Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who awards salvation, be my ultimate destination. On the battlefield, He charged me as if angry because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was scattered, and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds. Hare Krishna.
Can Krishna's body be ever be wounded? Is it possible?
No.
Then why does this happen? While killing so many asuras, he never got hurt, little bit also. Is it not? Did we hear somewhere, oh, while killing Putana, Krishna's one nail was broken? Yeah? Or while killing Aghasura, something happened to his eyes, something happened to his nose, or something happened, fall something on his head. Have you ever seen Krishna getting in trouble in this way? Never. Yeah? But here we are seeing that Krishna is wounded badly with the arrows which are shot by Bhishma Deva. So why does Krishna do this? Again, there are two reasons. First is to bewilder the materialistic people. Those who don't believe in Krishna, Krishna says, you don't want to believe in me? So be it. Don't believe in me. I will project myself as a normal human being. So I will get pierced by the arrows. Second thing, because Bhishma Dev was attacking Krishna, Bhishma Dev was a devotee of Krishna, but just now acting as the enemy of Krishna. So to give pleasure to his devotee. See, if Bhishma Dev, he is the most powerful warrior on that battlefield. More powerful than Arjuna also. We also know this, right? Nobody was more powerful than Bhishma Dev. Now, the greatest warrior of both the parties is, he's showering the arrows, and if Krishna is not getting hurt, he'll say, idhar se lag gaya, aisa jhad diya hai na? He'll just do this. One arrow from here, he'll just doing it. Then there will be no pleasure to Bhishma Dev, because Bhishma Dev was the devotee of the Lord. He wanted to make him happy. That is why he made himself wounded. He got himself wounded to, So that is what Bhishma Dev is remembering about Sri Krishna. That this who awards salvation, he is the person who can award salvation, right? He is the person who can deliver every person from this material world, take to the destined position and all the things. That person, Supreme Personality of Godhead, was getting hurt because of the wounds. Yeah. And that is the way, the picture of that Krishna, Bhishma Dev is remembering at the time of his death. And he's very happy remembering that, because he desired to see Krishna in that form. Right? So let us read the purport. Purport is self-explanatory, but just we need to read the purport very cautiously. Just pay attention to what is being read. Yes, Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The dealings of Lord Krishna and Bhishma Dev on the battlefield of Kurukshetra are interesting because the activities of Lord Sri Krishna appear to be partial to Arjuna and at enmity with Bhishma Deva. But factually, all this was specially meant to show special favor to Bhishma Deva, a great devotee of the Lord. The astounding feature of such dealings is that a devotee can please the Lord by playing the part of an enemy. The Lord
Mataji, 1
being
minute. Hare Krishna.
Hare
This is very important. Just one, I remembered something very nice over here. So this says that the astounding feature of such dealings is that a devotee can please the Lord by playing even the part of an enemy. So Krishna always enjoyed, the motherhood of Yashoda, the parenthood of Yashoda and Nanda Baba. Yeah, they used to think Krishna is my very small child. If he'll get hurt, or they were very careful about. They never thought Krishna as a supreme person. So Krishna enjoyed, taken care of, right? Enjoyed. Oh, my parents are taking my care. He also enjoyed the friendship with the Gopas, eating their uchishta, eating from their tiffins, doing all sorts of, giving all sorts of troubles by eating all the makhan and all everything. He also enjoyed the love of the gopis by running away from the house, by performing Ras Leela, spending time with them in the forest and everything. The same way, all these rasas, as they are important to Krishna, the rasa of enmity is also equally important. So a devotee is playing a role of an enemy, so he enjoys that also. See, enmity with Kamsa or enmity with Asuras was in a different mood. Right? They were jealous of or envious of Krishna. And that's why they were attacking Krishna. But here the relationship with Bhishma Dev is that he is the devotee. He is the only person who is a devotee and an enemy at one time. All other enemies were not devotees of Krishna. And in that rasa also Krishna is enjoying it. That rasa, his devotee is also enjoying. To see Krishna on the enemy side. That is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning over. Yes, Mataji, please continue.
Yeah. The Lord, being absolute, can accept service from his pure devotee even in the garb of an enemy. The Supreme Lord cannot have any enemy, nor can a so-called enemy harm him because he is Ajita or unconquerable. But still he takes pleasure when his pure devotee beats him like an enemy or rebukes him from a superior position, although no one can be superior to the Lord. These are some of the transcendental reciprocatory dealings of the devotee with the Lord, and those who have no information of pure devotional service cannot penetrate into the mystery of such dealings. Bhishma Dev played the part of a valiant warrior, and he purposely pierced the body of the Lord so that to the common eyes it appeared that the Lord was wounded. But factually, all this was to bewilder the non-devotees. The all-spiritual body cannot be wounded, and a devotee cannot become the enemy of the Lord. Had it been so, Bhishma Dev would not have desired to have the very same Lord as the ultimate destination of his life. Had Bhishma Dev been an enemy of the Lord, Lord Krishna could have annihilated him without even moving. There was no need to come before Bhishma Dev with blood and wounds. But he did so because the warrior devotee wanted to see the transcendental beauty of the Lord decorated with wounds created by a pure devotee.
Okay,
This is the way of, yes, thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare
Somebody else
Krishna.
can do it.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is we know the shloka, no? Ye yathamam prapadyante. Yeah? The way the devotee wants to interact with Krishna, Krishna reciprocates in that way. So Bhishma Dev wanted to see him in this way, he got to see it. The gopis wanted to see Krishna in some other way, he showered the mercy in that way. So ye yathamam prapadyante. He's doing that over here. Okay. Yes. Who is the next? Sorry, I cannot see. Divya Desai Mataji, you can read. You can complete the shloka. Then somebody else was there. Mataji can read the next shloka. Yes. This is the way. Mataji, are you there? Divya Desai Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, I am here.
Please
This is the way of exchanging transcendental rasa or relations between the Lord and the servitor. By such dealings, both the Lord and the devotee become glorified in their respective positions. The Lord was so angry that Arjuna checked him when he was moving towards Bhishma Deva, but in spite of Arjuna's checking, he proceeded towards Bhishma Deva as a lover goes to a lover without caring for hindrances. Apparently, his determination was to kill Bhishma Deva, but factually it was to please him as a great devotee of the Lord. The Lord is undoubtedly the deliverer of all conditioned souls. The impersonalists desire salvation from him, and he always awards them according to their aspirations. But here Bhishmadeva aspires to see the Lord in his personal features. All pure devotees aspire for this. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So that is about this shloka. Let us go in the next shloka. Who is going to read now? Shailja Mataji, I think you had raised.
Yes, Mataji. Shall I? Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Please raise your hands for reading. Okay. Purport can be read by Krishnamurti Prabhuji. There are two, so one paragraph by Krishnamurti Prabhu and one paragraph by Dinesh Prabhu. Please read, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Vijayarata kutumba atatotre धृतहयरश्मिनितक्षिये क्षणीये भगवतीरतिरस्तु मे मुमुक्षो यमिः निरीक्षः कथा स्वरूपम्. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Translation also. Mataji, translation.
Okay, Mataji. In the moment of the death, let my ultimate attraction to be Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original form after death. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So here, as we said, Bhishma Dev is remembering Krishna as in the Parthasarathi form. Right? Now see, all the devotees of Krishna were on Arjuna's side. And only one devotee was there on the opposite side, that is Bhishma Dev. What was Arjuna able to see about Krishna when the battle was taking place? He was only able to see the back of Krishna because he was Sarthi. He was charioteer. So he couldn't see the face of Krishna, how beautiful he is looking while driving the chariot, right? But Bhishma Dev was enjoying that complete from the front side. Are you getting the fortune of Bhishma Dev? What is the fortune? Even Arjuna is not able to see the Parthasarathi form. Who is able to see? Not Arjuna, not anybody else, but the complete relishing taste of this Parthasarathi form of Krishna was only taken by Bhishma Dev. And that is why he was relishing that same form now. Otherwise, he had seen Krishna in so many different forms when he used to visit Hastinapur also. But he is still remembering that only Parthasarathi form which he had seen during the battle. Okay, let us read the purport. Yes, Prabhuji, please read.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams
One
Mataji.
paragraph, Prabhuji, one paragraph.
Okay, Mataji. Purport by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. A pure devotee of the Lord constantly sees the presence of the Lord within himself because of being transcendentally related by loving service. Such a pure devotee cannot forget the Lord for a moment. This is called trance. The mystic yogi tries to concentrate upon the super soul by controlling the senses from all other engagements, and thus he ultimately attains samadhi. A devotee more easily attains samadhi or trance by constantly remembering the Lord's personal future along with his holy name, fame, pastimes, etc. Therefore, the concentration of the mystic yogi and that of the devotee are not on the same level. The concentration of the mystic is mechanical, whereas that of the pure devotee is natural in pure love and spontaneous affection.
So how
Bhishmadeva was
nicely comparison is done by Srila Prabhupada. Can you see? Okay, how easily he has made the distinction between the mystic yogis and a devotee. The devotee is always working, always doing some or the other activity. He's not idle. The mystic yogi is always sitting with his eyes closed, with always thinking on the Paramatma feature and trying to completely absorb his mind on the thoughts of Krishna. right? But a devotee doesn't have to do that. He's working, and he's taking names of Krishna, he's remembering Krishna every now and then. That is actual samadhi. So we need not leave our house, we need not leave our occupational duties, we need not leave any activity, we need not leave our varna and ashram, nothing we have to do. We have to just do our job, do our work, and remember Krishna while that time. That is called as samadhi. So if we are remembering Krishna while doing all our activities, we are still in samadhi. We need not go and sit in some particular yoga position to do that. Okay, that is what Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain as well. Yes, Prabhuji, please read. Bhishma Deva.
Bhishma Deva was a pure devotee, and as a military marshal, he constantly remembered the battlefield future of the Lord as Parthasarathi, the chariot driver of Arjuna. Therefore, the Lord's pastime is as Parthasarathi is also eternal. The pastimes of the Lord, beginning from the birth at the prison house of Kamsa up to the Ma, Mashula Leela,
Maushala Lila.
Maushal Lila at the end, all move one after another in all the universes. Just as the clock hand moves from one point to another, and in such pastimes, his associates like the Pandavas and Bhishma are constant eternal companions. So Bhishma Deva never forget the beautiful future of the Lord as Parthasarathi, which even Arjuna could not see. Arjuna was behind the beautiful Parthasarathi, while Bhishma Deva was just in front of the Lord. As far as the military future of the Lord is concerned, Bhishma Deva observed this with more relish than Arjuna. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Srila Prabhupada is telling about the Nitya Leelas of Krishna over here. So, there are so many universes, right? Just as in our world, we have one time now. Right now, it is almost 9 o'clock in India, right? In Dubai, it is 2 hours behind. In some other country, it is 4 hours behind. Some country, it is 10 hours ahead. So, in this one world only, there are so many different timelines. Similarly, in different universes, in some universe at this moment, Krishna is taking birth. In some universe at this moment, he is killing Putana. Somewhere he is killing Aghasura. Somewhere he is killing Kamsa. Somewhere battle of Kurukshetra is taking place. So these all things are called as Nitya Leela. Therefore, this Leela of Bhishma Dev observing or relishing the Krishna's feature form as Parthasarathi is also eternal. It is somewhere or the other in the universes that action is also taking place right now. That is what Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain us. Yes, Dinesh Prabhuji, please read the next paragraph.
Hare Krishna Mataji. All the soldiers and persons on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original spiritual form like the Lord after their death because by the causeless mercy of the Lord, they were able to see him face to face on that occasion. The conditioned souls rotating in the evolutionary cycles from the aquatics up to the form of Brahma are all in the form of Maya, or the form obtained by one's own action and awarded by material nature. The material forms of the conditioned souls are all foreign dresses, and when the conditioned soul becomes liberated from the clutches of material energy, he attains his original form. The impersonalist wants to attain the impersonal Brahman effulgence of the Lord, but that is not at all congenial to the living sparks, parts and parcels of the Lord. Therefore, the impersonalists again fall down and get material forms, which are all false to the spirit soul. A spiritual form like the Lord's, either two-handed or four-handed form, is attained by the devotees of the Lord either in the Vaikunthas or in the Goloka planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, which is 10% spiritual, is the Swarupa of the living being, and all the living beings who participated on the battlefield of Kurukshetra on both sides attained this Swarupa as confirmed by Bhishma Dev. So Lord Krishna was not merciful only to the Pandavas. He was also merciful to the other parties because all of them attained the same result. Bhishma Dev wanted the same facility also, and that was his prayer to the Lord, although his position as an associate of the Lord is assured in all circumstances. The conclusion is that whoever dies looking at the personality of Godhead within or without attains his Swarupa, which is the highest perfection of life. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
What is this shloka? The conclusion is that whoever dies looking on the personality of Godhead, within or without, attains his Swarupa. Which shloka is this? Anybody remembers?
Mataji, Antakale cha mameva.
Very
Antakale cha
simple
mameva.
shloka. Yes, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Yeah. So at the time of death, if we take darshan of Krishna, for sure, whatever is our desire, we will get it. So Bhishma Dev was getting worried before he could see Krishna. He was worried that, oh, even the enemies who got killed on the battlefield by Arjuna or by anybody, they had the darshan of Krishna and therefore they all were liberated. They all got their desired destination. But I was not killed. I did not die on the battlefield. So will I be getting that particular destination? So my desire is to look at Krishna, to think of Krishna and to take darshan of Krishna. And Krishna comes to meet Bhishma Dev. So his desire gets fulfilled. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining it in that way also. One more shloka we need to take. So maybe 5 minutes more we will take and finish off this shloka. Please raise your hands. We'll be a little bit quick in reading. Anuradha Mataji, you can read shloka and translation. Purport one more, please raise your hand.
Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji. Lalita Gati Vilasa Valaguhasa Pranaya Nirikshana Kalpito Rumana Krutamanu Krutavatya Unmadandaha Prakarti Magna Kila Yasya Gopavadaha. Krishna translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Shri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Vrajadhama, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the rasa dance. Hare Krishna.
So
Hare Krishna.
Bhishma Dev is also remembering the gopis now, because they are the purest devotee of the best devotee of Lord Sri Krishna. And therefore, he is remembering them also so that he can get the blessings of the gopis also. Okay, Archana Mataji, can I give the opportunity to Dhanashri Mataji for reading? Is it okay?
Oh, okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Dhanashri Mataji, you may read. Purport.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Archana Mataji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By intense ecstasy in loving service, the damsels of Brajabhumi attained qualitative oneness with the Lord by dancing with him on an equal level, embracing him in nuptial love, smiling at him in joke and looking at him with a loving attitude. The relation of the Lord with Arjuna is undoubtedly praiseworthy for devotees like Bhishma Deva, but the relation of the gopis with the Lord is still more praiseworthy because of their still more purified loving service. By the grace of the Lord, Arjuna was fortunate even enough to have the fraternal service of the Lord as chariot driver. But the Lord did not award Arjuna with equal strength. The gopis, however, practically became one with the Lord by attainment of equal footing with the Lord. Bhishma's aspiration to remember the gopis is a prayer to have their mercy also at the last stage of his life. The Lord is satisfied more when his pure devotees are glorified, and therefore Bhishma Deva has not only glorified the acts of Arjuna, his immediate object of attraction, but has also remembered the gopis, who were endowed with unrivaled opportunities by rendering loving service to the Lord. The gopis' equality with the Lord should never be misunderstood to be like the Sayujya liberation of the impersonalist. The equality is one of perfect ecstasy where the differential conception is completely eradicated. For the interests of the lover and the beloved become identical. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So this Srila Prabhupada is glorifying the gopis and their devotion towards Krishna. We will stop here with a small story. If you can give me the permission to tell that story in 2 minutes. Should I go ahead?
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, devotees. So this story comes in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Most of you must be knowing also that the Gokumaras, they go in all directions to find out who is the best devotee, who is the bestest of the best devotee of the Lord. So they come to know that in South India, there is a very devoted king who is always doing all his activities to please Krishna. So he goes to that king and say, tell us your secret of devotion, guide us, give us some tips so that we can also perform such devotional service towards the Lord. And this king says, no, I am not the best devotee. I am nowhere. I am nothing. Who is the best devotee? Indra is the best devotee. He is the king of the demigods. How can I be greater devotee than him? I do so many mistakes while taking the day-to-day care of the subjects. So they go to Indra and they say, please, you give us some devotion. You are the best devotee. So Indra says, oh, I am not the greatest devotee. How can you call me best devotee? Don't you know what all I have done in Vrindavan? How I have harassed the people of Vrindavan? Have you not seen that? I am not at all. I am the sinful person. I am not the devotee of the Lord. Who is the devotee? Oh, Brahmaji is the best devotee. So they go to Brahmaji. Brahmaji says, no, Shivji is the best devotee. They go to Shivji. Shivji says, I'm so fallen. I'm Ashutosh. I am hastily giving boons to different people and then I only get into trouble. How can I be the best devotee? Right? No, I'm not the best devotee. You go to Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj is the best devotee. So they go to Prahlad Maharaj. They pray to him. Please, you are the bestest of the best devotee. Narsimhadev appeared just for you. So give us the blessings of becoming the devotee like you. Prahlad Maharaj said, I'm such a small kid. I disobeyed my parent in the name of devotion. How can you call me a devotee when I cannot even obey my parents? No, I'm not the devotee. Who is the devotee then? Hanuman. Go to Hanuman. So they go to Hanuman. Hanuman says, oh, I'm not the good devotee. The Lord took all the Ayodhavasis back to Godhead and he kept me in the material world. You know, what kind of a devotee I am. Lord did not take me with him also. So then he says, who is the devotee then? Then he sends them to the gopis. And gopis, now these gopis, they say, okay, but then how are the gopis the best devotees? Because the gopis do not think of anything else. They will just think, they will just do, they will just act for the pleasure of Krishna. For that, if they have to go against their family, they will go against the family. They have to go against the rules, they will go against the rules. What is their intention? Just to please Krishna. We know that Krishna's headache is there. And everybody says, Narad Muni says that somebody's charan dhuli has to be applied to Krishna's head so that his headache is gone. And everybody says, no, who? Supreme Personality of God, I cannot give my charan dhuli to him. We should take his charan dhuli. But gopis say, Krishna's headache, what do you want? My charan dhuli? Just take it. Take it and go, run fast and apply it to Krishna so that he is relieved of his headache. That is the level of gopis. So they are the best gopis. So Bhishma Devi is remembering these gopis so that he also gets the benediction. He also gets the blessings from these devotees at the time of his departure. So is it wrong that South Indian king is not a devotee, Indra is not a devotee, Prahlad Maharaj is not a devotee, Shivji is not a Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Shivji is not a greatest devotee. Brahmaji is not a devotee. Is it possible like that? No. But that is the humility of all the great devotees, that they will never think of themselves as great devotees. Okay? They will always praise other devotees and they will call them, or they will think, not only call, they'll think themselves as fallen and they'll think that the other devotees are the great devotees. That is the quality of the pure devotees. So we should inculcate some of these qualities in ourselves also. Humility is the main thing that we should always try to inculcate in ourselves. With this note, let us stop today. If you have
Mataji,
any...
we also saw this about gopis, like how even their eyelids, they will not close when Krishna's there.
They're cursing Brahmaji. Now, they will close the eyelids, but they're cursing Brahmaji. Why you have given us these eyelids? That we cannot see Krishna if there were no eyelids, constantly we could have seen, not even that moment of flickering that eyelids, closing them. So that is their desire to serve Krishna. How are those greatest devotees? Because this is their desire. That is what they think. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, उपस्थित गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.